um, yeah. Welcome to the, well, future Dark Realm. It's a creative build, admittedly. It's not survival or anything like that, and I honestly don't care if anyone doesn't like that or not. It's more for the case of some design concept that I wanted to put together. So, it is what it is. I wanted to talk about something here while I worked on this. What do I want to say about it, though? Well, to begin with, a friend of mine that I mentioned earlier, I think I mentioned his name as Ajin and stuff, but we had a bit of a falling out. Now that we're not together anymore, I have more free time, and I had mentioned that I would probably make a video about that. I guess this is kind of it now, considering I've decided that the previous video that I was going to upload is no longer suitable for what I was going to do. I felt it was a bit too intrusive on information that doesn't really necessarily need to be up there. And I just didn't really want to go into detail about it, so there you go. There's the answer to why that video will never actually see the light of day. I've already deleted it from my files. It's something private, and I decided I didn't want to relay it. So, what is that all about, I suppose you might be wondering. Well, what can I say? Well, my friend's got problems and I couldn't tolerate them anymore. That's a really, really poor way of saying it, but that's basically what it's about. And this isn't just like out of nowhere. This has like been going on for years and years and years and years and years and years, and he refuses to, or seems to be unable to, deal with it appropriately. So I'm just done for now. I'm not going to play with him, at least not for now anymore. I'm just sick and tired of it. I'm done. I'm just done. That's what it will be. I'll leave it at that. Moving on. Since I'm not going to be doing that video, I wanted to talk about some other things, like, well, what am I going to say? This, perhaps? What is the Dark Realm? Well, it's effectively a giant hole in the ground. Giant pit. Filled with water and darkness. And you might be wondering, well, what's all with all the glowstone if it's going to be dark? And it's, well, I'm going to actually pave over this with obsidian. And the reason why I'm putting this glowstone here is both as a sort of a material to offset the shape and make it bumpier, so it's not, I don't know, just it basically helps to make the obsidian look a little bit bumpier when I'm done with it. I'm placating it around. I plan on doing the same to the walls here, but they're not as big a deal to worry about as the glowstone here. The glowstone here is more intended to help also light up the ceiling space, so it helps prevent mob spawns to some degree if there's any gaps in my designs. I plan on basically going over this again in the future using kind of vision assistance, try and find all the mob spawning locations, whatever I might have missed, and fix them, but I can't really assure myself that I'm going to be able to do that, so I wanted to try and give myself some help. And all this glowstone is meant to be that help, effectively. You might be going like, oh no, he's gone from survival to creative. This is gonna suck now, or something, but this is only one incident that I really wanted to relay. And the fact is that if I were to try and clear this out in survival, that'd take like years. And I am not joking about that. It took me a month to clear out like a 50 by 50 area. Okay, maybe not that much, but it literally took way longer than I had anticipated it would take. And I decided that if I actually did want to clear out as much space as I have just done here with commands, it would have taken me probably around years, and that just would have been too long. I wanted to design this and build it and have it done and not have to worry about it anymore. So yeah, it's kind of a big scale thing, and it's kind of cheaty because I'm using creative from admin mode and stuff. I have also worked out some other materials and a number of things I've done. Corresponding to this giant hole in the ground. It's taken me several days just to sort of do this anyway, despite using creative. How much more so would it have been if I tried to do this in survival? Oh my gosh, no. No, that would not even remotely work out very well for any period of time. Any shorter period of time. So that I will pass on. However, this does not, I hate it when I repeat myself. This does not apply to all my builds in the future. This is only one gigantic design concept I wanted to put together that was large scale and required me to do some extensive things. I mean, at the very least, I was probably going to eventually create tons of micro tunnels throughout this entire area and light it up with torches, which I think this is probably less taxing on the game at the end of it all. I don't know, on the server, I mean. And that was mostly just to make that mob grinding tower over here, which, by the way, the original design came from the original design, as I saw it online, was from a I don't even remember what his name is. I'll put a link down in the description for the details. But basically, timer, delay, and double message delay thing. I have it off at the moment because there's no point right now to have it on. I have no place for the drops to go. But I basically added on to the design, made a giant tower out of it, and have a collection area below, which will eventually lead over to Central Tower. I'm thinking of moving this thing, though, because because it's so big and kind of bulky that it kind of obscures some of the area a bit. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I could push it back a few blocks. Let's see here, there's like 80 blocks from that point to that point, if I recall exactly. So if I put it directly up against that, that means it only has 80 blocks. It has 80 blocks space, and it would not be at maximum efficiency. So I'd have to move it about somewhere, maybe like right here-ish, like right at this corner, but still like 20 blocks back. That might work out. It'd be kind of cool. But that's something I'll do in a little bit later. So, yeah, I'm planning on moving some of my structures around that I've already built. And yeah, that's something that I wanted to do with the tower there. On the other side, there's also a slime grinder. I might as well go take a look at it briefly. I don't know the command for a faster movement, flight, or a teleport command. Either one would be nice. There's the slime spawner. Now, it's not currently as functional as it'd normally be because I filled this area with water, and that kind of impacted the spawner's functionality as well as a side effect. It actually does make it more efficient, but at the same time it doesn't work right now because inside the water, well, might as well just go ahead and take a glance. See, the water's disrupted. There's where it normally would flow down into a drowning trap, but this area is just full of water, so it's not working out like it should. I'll fix it when I get a little bit later. I'm probably going to move this up a block or two. This entire contraption is going to, I'm going to think about pushing it up a block. And also mess around with some of the interiors of that, some of the interior of that. Yeah, those are sheep in there. They're kind of just glitching out through the surface. I don't know if I actually have shown this on the video exactly, or if I have, I only like took a glance. Oh wait, yeah, I did show this off. But this is my sheep farm. The water's been messed up because of another command I did earlier that kind of deleted all the water in the local area, and that resulted in them having that problem. I replaced the walls with brick, so I wouldn't accidentally remove that. So it's kind of cheaty, but at the same time I'm going to eventually turn it back to stone anyway. Or perhaps I'll just leave it brick, I don't know, whatever. Here's the tree farm. It's all dark right now because there's no torches in there. I deleted those. Again, for another command. So, yeah, there's the sheep farm, there's the tree farm, there's a storage box, there's a surface area around the mob grinder, which I'll eventually be moving. I might make like a tunnel to it or something. That might be cool, just having this big long tunnel, just reach into it. That'd be kind of neat, I think. There's also down here, I'm planning on making a pathway to the slime grinder from the tower base. Just basically reaching out and then reaching over to the base of the slime grinder. So it's easily accessible. With that being the only slime chunks spawnable for slimes in general in the entire area, that's water. That means that's pretty much the most efficient slime spawner probably on the entire slime mob grinder on the entire server, the most efficient.